Thank you, guys. Great crowd tonight. My name is Mike Harley. I direct the Southern Exposure New Music Series. It's a pleasure that you all have elected to spend your Friday evening with us this evening. I think you're in for a treat and a very unusual and special experience. We do have a tradition. I always want to welcome those folks in the audience who have not been to a Southern Exposure show before. So please raise your hand if you've never been to a Southern Exposure concert. All right, well, let's give these people a round of applause. Woo. We hope that you hear something you like and you keep coming back, and every concert is different from the one before, but united, we hope, in the idea that the music of today speaks to our lives and is compelling, especially when performed by some of the world's great artists. And we certainly have some on stage tonight and who have been a part of actually making this piece. We have 2 upcoming concerts in the remainder of the season. We do 2 each semester. There's one at the end of January, and there's one at the end of March. I encourage you to check out the program for those concerts. We also, I can announce, are going to have another fundraising gala. This is going to be on the 21st of March. It features an amazing artist, Liesl, who will be here performing, and you'll get more information about that, I'm sure, or you can check out our website. We always have many people to thank for these concerts. And tonight, I really hope you get a chance to check out the related visual art display. We do pair a local artist with each concert. Tonight features wonderful paintings by Mary Ann Haven. Mary Ann, could you stand up and wave? You're in the back there. Woo. So please make sure to check out our little reception down there after the concert. There are cookies, sparkling water, regular water if you don't like the sparkling water, and most of all, a great display of art in the main office. So we really hope you check it out. It is for sale as well, and some of it does relate directly to tonight's concert. I also should thank Olga Yukno, who is our amazing visual arts coordinator who helps identify local artists to pair with concerts. Jeff Francis on sound, as ever. Eric Duncan and Bourbon Columbia. Especially our performers and composers tonight. The New Sounds Quartet is a graduate ensemble coached by Ari Streisfeld, who's right there in the audience. David Garner and Greg Stewart, who I'll talk briefly about in a second, and the amazing narrator this evening, Ed Madden. We have the Madden row right here, I believe, of folks right up here in front. So we're excited about these artists and owe them a real debt of gratitude for all the incredible amount of time and work and energy and love that they've put into this concert. Finally, I want to thank you all. You make this happen by coming, by being a part of this series, some of you by donating financially. We're always glad to accept more donations. But thank you again for coming and being a part of Southern Exposure. So tonight you're going to hear an opera which the music is not composed by the composer, an opera in which, I hate to break it to you, there's not going to be opera singing tonight. I don't know if that's disappointing or, kind of exciting for depends on your point of view about opera. But this is a really unique piece that has quite a story. It was developed over a number of years and initially made for television. So kind of written ultimately in these little 25-minute scenes, kind of fit for that mode of consumption in the mid-'80s. Robert Ashley, the composer, developed this almost inscrutable text and worked very closely with musician friends to develop the music that is the text's backdrop. But it's also fine, in other words, and that would have been played by those musicians. It's customary for people to develop their own music to accompany the text by, and that is what Dave and Greg have done, very much in the fashion that Ashley would have done working with his friends. They've gotten together, improvised a lot, developed beats and things like that, and also brought in the New Sounds Quartet, who are also playing a lot of improvised, some written things, and often improvised stuff that you'll be hearing as the musical backdrop of this text. And I think the text, of course, that is then the heart of this opera in a sense. That is what Ashley has contributed. And again, I would encourage you, I think, maybe not to look so hard for a plot or a narrative, but enjoy the poetry, you know? The text is filled with what I think are rather, it feels mesmerizing to me, and it's filled with many poetic moments sprinkled throughout the evening. And you each hopefully picked up a card that has a QR code for the program tonight. Your card also has a phrase on it that will be spoken this evening by our narrator. So I encourage you to listen for that and these other words of fleeting poetry and kind of give yourself into the ambience, the special ambience of this piece, these words and this music this evening. So I do believe you're in for something special, something you probably not experienced before in a concert hall. Please help me welcome this evening our performers, Ed Madden, Greg Stewart, Dave Garner, and the New Sounds Quartet.
He takes himself seriously. Motel rooms have lost their punch for him. The feeling is expressed in bags. There are two, and inside those two, there are two more. It's not an easy situation, but there's something like abandon in the air. There's something like the feeling of the idea of silk scarves in the air. There's a kind of madness to it, the kind we read about in magazines. One of the bags contains a bottle of liquor, a sure sign of thoughtfulness about who one might have been. He pours himself a small drink in a fluted plastic glass, sans ice. He thinks to himself, if I were from the big town, I would be calm and debonair. The big town doesn't send its riffraff out. He sits on the bed, both feet on the floor. He studies the ashtray and tries to rule out preference, preferring over not preferring. But he prefers gravity, preferring in this case earth, the earth as they say, preferring some state over non-state. Now he grips himself with determination, even knowing that it causes sadness. He's determined to be what? He is determined to be serious, not for the first time. And not for the first time, there is the feeling of a mistake. But too late. He has arrived, and there are rooms, and all rooms are not the same. Some better than others, obviously. A better view, a better layout, better shower, softer bed, not so far from noise, more like home, etc., etc. Very abstract. He lifts the telephone from its cradle. His determination gets stronger, if no clearer, even as he faints in its force. Were it not for our momentum, the inertia of our actions, the constant inspiration of our habits, we could not continue. The will is almost nothing, he thinks to himself. At the sound of the first ring, he hangs up. He pushes down the button, listens to the silence of the object in his hand, and then he hangs up. Very dramatic. The phone rings immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He brings this cloud of conditions with him. He is at the center of a ball of hot stuff that we haven't put our minds to yet. And sitting on the bed in the motel room is no different. Somewhere in another room, in range, somebody got it and phoned him. It happens all the time, really, a kind of restlessness in that range. He sits and thinks about obedience. He has resolved that of the two kinds, the kind that takes every message of order, rule, law as error, that loathes the buildings, that contradicts the inner voice, that resists, in short, is his. And that the other kind, how could it be? He is unhappy with the world. He works with the forwardness and the backwardness. He works with what things are ahead of us and what things are behind us. I guess the other kind would be to work with the things that are alongside, the attachments. Obedience is impossible for him. At the same time, he is cooperative and indeed solicitous. No one in the world would mistake him for a real person, obedience, etc. The other kind works with the things that are of the alongside us, the attachments. At the same time, he is cooperative. The numbers on the telephone, the parts of the book, the notes of the scale, they are the same, are they not? They come from the sameness of the idea of the outsideness, not the alongside, the outsideness, the differentness. It is a problem being cooperative and at the same time refusing obedience, carrying the load of the idea of differentness. He wants. He handles himself in the morning as just like for every other man. The fantasy is the distance, the reluctance, the reticence, the otherness. The fantasy is the uncleanness. So getting up gets to be a problem for a sensitive person like him. The problem is to run that gauntlet again. Remove problem, remove gauntlet, remove run, remove is to, remove the, remove that. Leave this. Make this whatever. He lights the motel room with a slightly blue body light. When he is alone, he forgets sometimes to walk. He just moves. Sometimes they touch, sometimes they don't, and everything in between. As sometimes he forgets to combine talk with thinking and just thinks. or just talks. Especially, I think it happens in those rooms. Who knows why? The way it disconnects from what's just outside is predictable. Is it not so? It never stops being a mystery. We have talked about it. When he says hello, you hear a long whining sound, which is his voice and the hello. It is as different from whatever, the way one might remember, as a sound a cat would make. He is not unusual in this, I think. He is absolutely uninhabitable. A thankless star. Remove star, remove thankless, remove A. Replace with, he has a special way of speaking, but it seems only to make him more like other men. This is one place, and here every kid is armed. So where are you going? Hunting. Only sometimes we don't see the guns. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. The town and always references to down and up. Down from Des Moines, up from somewhere. Missed my chance, didn't even see it. Thought it was a threat to house and home. Why don't you come up to the big town? No thanks. Looking back, didn't get the up and down part. How could I have missed it? Get a grip on yourself, he says. Working against time is another thing he says. Here I am, working against time. The pencil fairly flies as he makes his simple request for breakfast, room service, courtesy of the company. This is a record. I am sitting on a bench next to myself. Inside of me, the words form. Come down out of the tree and fight like a man. 2 G's and eggs. This is not a record, this is a story. I want to say something about myself. I am not sitting on a bench next to myself, whatever that means. I am a city of habits. I am completely knowable in every way. I recognize superstition in every form. The anger of the words wakes me in the dream of myself. I imagine there are 2 men on the bench. The exchange between them will not be seen. They will not put it forth to be seen. And if I make something of the situation to show a difference between the 2 men, the difference will distract the true onlooker. But the film fogs, you know. 1G in fogs. And add a dish of prunes if they are in season. The men are in the park in a small Midwestern town. That is, the bench is in the park. We know from what is past that the men are on the bench. They are old by doctor's standards. The park graces the courthouse of the county. The courthouse has about it the simple air of failure, an abandoned outpost. The park has sidewalks, fences, trees, grass, and a statue of a man and a horse at war, or ready for war. They are alone with their intentions. The sculptor has made the horse look stupid. The man's jaw is firm. The time is late morning and early summer. The sun shines. In this scene, there are two shots: the park and all its details, frozen in time, broken on the right edge, sometimes up to 2/3 across the frame, by the body of a person, very close, blurred, moving almost rhythmically. We have just begun, and already we are stuck. Working against time, as they say. The camera is obsessed with what it sees: the park, the ragged edge. Nothing moves except the edge. The edge moves. It's as if there is no other place. His mind races. 1 G in fogs, 2 Gs in eggs. When the two men spoke, they spoke about permanence and impermanence. They noted that there were certain things which were impermanent and other things to which the term impermanence did not apply. Thus, they came to make a great division between that which is impermanent and that which is permanent. Everything in the transitory category turned out to be the particulars of our existence, and these were divided into physical, mental, and others, which were neither physical nor mental. Among those particulars which were neither physical nor mental, they listed attainment, aging, and coincidence. On the permanent side of this great divide of reality was a notion they referred to as space. And by that term, they meant neither conceptual space nor space as given by our senses. They meant connections. They decided that such space is irreducible and not transitory, and that it exists as long as one is alive. They wondered, naturally, what becomes of it. This impasse is no help at all. Consider his situation. For instance, he is expected to be positive and helpful about breakfast. In the order of things, it is more important that she know about the prunes than that the shot should change. And what about the problems we see in him? He is still sitting on the bed, both feet on the floor. The small drink in the fluted plastic glass, sans ice, is hardly touched. The phone has just stopped ringing. In his mind, the two men are frozen in time on the bench. The horse looks stupid. The man's jaw is firm. Incredibly, slowly, our view begins to slide. His idea is that the transition always takes one by surprise. Always. There is no way to prepare. He imagines absolute awareness on the other side. He wonders, as we all do, how it comes to you that the light has changed. We were distracted by the fluid right edge. There is an absoluteness to surprise, he thinks. He applies this simple thought to the problem of how to move the shot. Incredibly, slowly, our view begins to slide, but begins is a problem. We are enchanted by the park and all its details, timeless, broken on the right edge by the body of the person, very close, blurred, moving rhythmically. How can it begin to change? How can the beginning go unnoticed? How can we pass from one state to another? Is it possible, if one already has a certain expectation of life, to start directly on the path? Or is there danger involved in trying to do advanced practices without having the proper foundation? They came to believe that unless one has actually gone through the preliminary experiences, conclusions may be drawn on the basis of insufficient information, and that these conclusions may produce just the opposite effect of the one which is intended. In other words, one never knows. And so the view begins to slide anyway, as they say, sliding eastward, turning eastward, the particulars moving left to right across the frame. A parade of sorts. And it comes to rest finally on the road, the street that holds the park. We are still obsessed. We are not relieved. This view is no different. How could it be? Except that we have moved off the body of the person, very close and blurred, and every edge is raw. And there is some machine approaching, wider than it is high, as they say, a pack of motorcycles, a herd of elephants, a tribe of Bedouins, something from the east, barely moving in a cloud of haze and heat and dust, in utmost telephoto, gold and green and flat. The idea of the slit, the eye of a needle. likes it. But today's her wedding, and she leaves home at 5 in the morning, down the stairs, out the door, off the porch, around the corner, and here we are with the motor running. Where does she think they think she's going at 5 in the morning, in case they didn't know, with Ed and Dwayne and me in the car? And this is the car that's full of holes. You don't borrow the family car when you leave in the dark, even if you are going to Indiana. So today, leaving the dark, car full of holes, no destination or flowers or ring, Ed and Gwen in the front seat and Dwayne and me in the back. If they are engaged, it's someplace in the middle of the night that only they can know, and they bury their tracks. That's love. I'm sure it's night, the engagements. Starry skies is where Ed takes them. He's no fool. Now one hand on the wheel and the other in Gwen's lap, he drives us toward an understanding. I wish to do that one more time. This time to be with Ed and Gwen. They want to get married, and they asked me to come along. And I know the reasons why. Ed admires me. I am the captain of the football team. I listen. We speak about theosophy and eating only vegetables. Also, my sister and Ed's friend, the nameless one, work out in the basement of the house we use for services on Sunday. Soy burgers and Atlantis are the themes. Soy burger dreams of a lost civilization are my fate. We are drawn together in the dream. Well, actually, Ed, I think I'm just the shadow of the dream. It changes, right? So cosmic is the scale that just a glimpse is all that it takes to break my heart. Gwen elopes. She calls the bank manager the night before and tells him that tomorrow won't be just another day. She tells him that she's feeling sick, or rather feels a sickness coming on. Even the bank manager gets it then. She wants to take a day off from work. She wants to begin in a car full of holes, just like the one parked there in the sideshow yard to represent a point of exit for some gang or another. Maul Barker and the boys. For true believers in the people's men and women of the car, the myth of the limo, the seats are stained with some sort of stuff. This is scary for the kids who've seen them rolling in the dust for Jesus. Except that in Ed's car, the holes are in the bottom, not in the doors and windows. So here we are in May on our way to Indiana. Ed and Gwen in front, the lovers, and in back, Dwayne and me. Gwen, I understand now, and I need forgiveness. Well, actually, all I need is another chance, if that's not asking too much. This time, there is no fear, no shame, no caution. My heart is so full there in the back seat with Dwayne. This time, I throw myself at the feet of your recklessness. I learn, finally, that's something, and I give the blessing. At this point, Gwen, heedless, usually a queen, the royal family of nerve, turns on the auto radio to get a song. Click. An act of demodulation has, as you know, more than one set of consequences. Like the tiny fishes eating at the bottom of the sea, we eat the airwaves. I mean, Gwen and Ed and Dwayne and me. And in that act, we can be found, you know, where else nothing has a meaning. Short pause for thought. Our demodulation registers among the great transmitters in the east atop the giant fundamentalist hotels where everything is black and white and the checkout time is 6 a.m. And southward to the Delta where my father said he missed school because of obligations to the state. He studied surveying with his father, whose hero was George Washington, who surveyed this land and who believed that we could not survive until we moved the capital to New Orleans. And north, too, to the river's head, where John and Babyface and all those boys and their girls wintered, and west, of course, to what dangers we have left behind, where the eddies of our demodulation fill the bank around 12:45 p.m., remember that. And in the bank at that time, there is a commotion, as they say. The manager is soaking wet. The older sister of his assistant, there by chance, missed the dogfight with the bucket from next door and soaked him. Everybody's laughing. That's a relief. And it has been discovered that the money is not there. This is one consequence of our demodulation, the measured one. And the other is the song itself inside the car. Click. Segue to a firm voice that says, "That was cuckoo." Short pause for thought. This little incident on the radio convinced Gwen that we were on the right track or road. She urged Ed on. Where does she think they think she's going, in case they didn't know? There's Ed and Dwayne and me in the car that's full of holes, wind, noise, and the cargo of danger, more dangerous than the danger of the road and the dangers of no destination and the dangers of the return. Gwen is so beautiful, wrapped in danger. She is wrapped in scarves against the wind and noise and wrapped in the danger of her undertaking. When she turns to us, we can see see just her eyes. When she turns to us, there's danger wrapped in scarves. There's the danger of her eyes, the danger of why Ed is not alone with her, why Dwayne and I must be with them until the final moment when they have decided together that she is no longer with us. She is only with him, and we are with them. We go out together, the four of us planning to change things, to rearrange things among us so that forever after, when I talk to Gwen or when Dwayne talks to Gwen, there will always be the scarves hiding the smiles, and no longer ever or ever for me or Dwayne will Gwen be naked in the summer dress. When we get back from this one, those days are gone forever. The days of Gwen naked in the summer dress are gone for me and Dwayne. When we get back from this one, she'll be clothed forever in scarves, and in the summer dress, she will be clothed forever. So today, we leave in the dark in the car full of holes, no destination or flowers or ring. Ed and Gwen in the front seat and Dwayne and me in the back. If they are engaged, it's someplace in the middle of the night that only they can know, and they have buried their tracks. That's love. A night engagement in the dark of scarves and danger. Starry skies is where Ed takes them. He's no fool. He knows the danger of the stars. An Atlantean return knows the dangers of the stars. He has seen two of them, larger than the moon, locked in light, locked in an exchange of something. The heavens were on fire. Earth shakes. Enormous wind and noise. He remembers that then, at that moment, which was final and inevitable, after a generation of vain hope and the smell of icons burning, we conceded. We allowed ourselves. The heavens were on fire, and there was enormous wind and noise. The two of them, larger than the moon, were locked in light. Boy, that was something. Everything was scarves. No one was naked in the summer dress. And each of us turned to someone, turned to face someone. If there are lessons, that was the lesson. The two of them were locked in light. The heavens were on fire. Earth shakes, enormous wind and noise. And each of us turns to someone. The turning is like, see you later. See you later, perfect one. See you later, all night. Two ways of see you later. One way is see you later somewhere. See you later, Ed. See you later, Gwen. See you later, Dwayne. The other is see you later, perfect one. See you later, all night. See you later, perfect one. Take it with you. See you later, all night. How's your mom? So there's the both of them here in this wind and noise. Earth shakes. Ed's car with holes plows the heavens, and Gwen turns to Ed and said, see them up there, locked in light. This must be it. See you later, Ed. Then, just slightly more, she turns to Dwayne and me and back and says, see you later, all night. See you later, perfect one. Ed's car with holes plows the heavens, now one hand on the wheel and the other in Gwen's lap. He drives us toward an understanding. I wish to do that one more time. This time to be with Ed and Gwen. Perfect one steps down, does not take it with him. They want to marry, and they ask me to come along, and I know the reasons why. Ed admires me. I am the captain of the football team. I listen. I am the audience, as in the builders, the hundreds of them, fed on garlic, wished the stones in place, then polished them, and then they had an audience with the perfect one to hear him say, nice going. And they answered together, as closely fitted as the stones. It was nothing. Another day, another garlic. It's all yours now. We're going home. And among them, the builders turned to one another and said, a different kind of see you later. Not see you later, perfect one, or see you later all night, but see you later, Ed. See you later, Gwen. In back, Dwayne and I are drinking beer. Dwayne knows. Dwayne knows the dangers of the cargo and the destination. How's your mom, Dwayne? When you see her, say hello for me. Tell her the perfect one says hi. Click. So here we are in May on our way to Indiana, Ed and Gwen in front, the lovers, and in back, Dwayne and me. Gwen, I can love now, and I need forgiveness. Well, actually, all I need is another chance, if that's not asking too much. This time, there is no fear, no shame, no caution. My heart is so full there in the back seat with Dwayne. This time, I throw myself at the feet of your recklessness. I learn, finally, That's something. And I give the blessing. What are we doing here? Next thing you know, I hear another voice say, under the eyes of God and all his messengers and the governor of the sovereign state of Indiana, who shall witness this holy thing, this matrimony, this elopement, more even holy than you think, asshole. Last night around 10:30, in front of the diner, she calls the bank manager at home, and predicts her own sickness. This is the legendary bedside ceremony. Clyde, I am wounded and I see the cloud approaching and I want that we should marry. Oh, Bonnie, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I am without regret. I say in the face of all eternity that I love you and I am without regret. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, asshole. I shall witness this matrimony, this elopement. Under the eyes of God and the governor of the sovereign state of Indiana, I have come here with Dwayne. And while he's far from perfect, he is reliable. Somewhere in himself, he is pure and reckless. He is someone you can count on. And in the backseat full of holes, when Dwayne smiles, I am not afraid. Let's get married. Oh, Ed. We are all separated by the space. We talk to ourselves. Is Ed's sister Gwen? Does Ed leave Gwen for Gwen? Is Dwayne's name Tom? These records are hard to work with now. What is clear is that Gwen is not involved, except that this is the day she is to be married for the first time, and she's a little nervous. She sees the sickness coming. The phone call from the diner. Stay out late as usual. Go home and go to bed at midnight, and they'll know something's up for sure. So, on top of all the other things we have to do, the planning, the road maps, the gas up, what do you wear, do you need a ring, there's the question finally of where are we going? It is not as if we have a destination. Indiana, that's not a destination. Where do we stop and declare our intentions to marry Ed to Gwen, over and above the fact that when we are caught, Ed's balls will go for sure, and probably mine too. The captain of the football team can't just shrug his shoulders and pretend that it's a coincidence that he is in Indiana. When the justice of the peace asks, and who witnesses this ceremony, this elopement, this holy matrimony? I'm just there. I don't know why. And I hear him ask this question, and Ed is my friend, and Gwen is a friend of my sister's, and I say, I will, asshole. And that's the way it happens, I swear. Anyway, we know that Gwen's not guilty. She has never helped them count their money very well. But it would be stretching things, the tale, to think that today she is involved in a crime. What we can't figure out is where it goes or went. A large amount just disappears like magic. We're pretty sure we know the time of day, 12:45 p.m. And in the bank at that time, in addition to the silly farmers and their silly wives, there is a Mexican in a fancy suit. There is a seedy-looking man. There is the older sister of the manager's assistant. There are the lovers from the home doing business on a holiday. And there is that fight between the dogs.
Introducing Jennifer.
Jennifer dreams when she's at the window. The sun beats down on a marketplace and they've got her in chains. Here in the shadow of the palms I serve. It's not bad, you know, you learn a lot. This man, for instance, stays close to home. See his hand? The heart is magnified. The dark one wants something of me, I can tell, and the other one's a traveler.
Jennifer works at the bank. That's her job. Mostly she helps people count their money. She likes it.
She likes it. In summer, when it's really hot outside, the bank is like an oasis. Underneath what it means is what it means. What they were serving was like glue and very sweet. Smoke and the smell of coffee filled the air. I like the getting up and getting down part, really. To think, the closer you watch, the less you see. Jennifer dreams when she's at the window, but they all saw it. Jennifer, Kate, Eleanor, Linda, and Susie.
Introducing Kate. Kate works at the bank. That's her job. Mostly she helps people count their money. She likes it.
She likes it. Kate's the one that stays up late with the man that put the cameras in, a reader. For instance, you will lead a long and happy life. Look, the line here says you'll give yourself, heart and soul, to a guy that puts in cameras. Come on, baby, I have hours of you. You're the late show. You're the one. You've got the part. I love you, Kate, and it says here that it's time for you to love me too. Tomorrow, put a note where I can see it. Say, yes, I will be yours. Hold up a sign that says I love you. Now, speaking of holdups, this guy has it on the tape, they say. But what? A dogfight in a bank? A Mexican? The old folks from the home? What kind of shot is this? The closer you watch, the less you see. Kate's the one that stays up late on the porch swing with the guy that put the cameras in. Between the two of them, she's seen it all. The night sky in summer and in winter, herself. Every night, except for weekends, the screen test. Herself.
Introducing Eleanor. Eleanor works at the bank. That's her job. Mostly she helps people count their money. She likes it.
She likes it. In her mind, she's been here since the beginning. I mean, she's the first of all the girls here now. Things were much less formal than they used to be. But I think I'll always be here, at least for now. Her specialty is transferals, gold and other valuables, including deeds. She knows it all, and I don't think she's even blind, but then I don't come in here all that often. Last year she had an operation of a sort, in almost the middle of the night, navigating by the stars away from the tents, as it should be. The captain of the football team removed her, what is that? Or maybe exchanged one thing that has no currency for another that has no currency.
Introducing Linda. Linda works at the bank. That's her job. Mostly she helps people count their money. She likes it.
She likes it. Look, you'll have one child and he shall be named Junior. The line of life is protected by the line of travel. Eleanor is Linda's closest friend. They have something in common. When they're together, though, it's at a distance for them both. We measure memory in distance. That gives you something to think about. If what's remembered is more recent, is it more yours? For instance, they sold their car to a jerk that didn't pay. Oh, Junior. Now she is annoyed at what the fates have given her. Same old problems. The supermarket groceries, the car that needs a paint job. You have to cross the wires to start it. Oh, Junior, drive home. Take in the groceries, take a nap. Where's the car? It's out in front. No, that's the old one. What do you mean the old one? That's the one we sold. And what's it doing out front? My God, I took the wrong one. The one we own's now still in the parking lot. I wonder how he got his groceries home. Her baby is named Junior Junior. Her husband is named Junior. He says football was too romantic in the old days, and he's glad they play on Sunday now.
Introducing Susie. Susie works at the bank. That's her job. Mostly she helps people count their money. She likes it.
She likes it. Susie saw the dogs. Linda saw the Mexican. Kate saw the man we're calling X. Susie saw the dogs go out together. That's important. She wonders if the dogs speak Spanish, like the waiters in the Chinese restaurants in Spain. She started listening to opera for thrills. He sings, Miss Italy, I adore you. That's what she likes. If only I could understand the words. Miss Cremona, I adore you. From the parapet I shall throw myself if our love is unrequited. I want the world to know I adore you. Je t'adore. Amore, love. The Mexican was like a flash of darkness against the blazing sun outside. The dogs were like a noise from Hades. The silly farmers and their wives like an Italian custard frozen in the yolk. Susie's on a jet for someplace. They'll never believe this story. She saw the dogs go out together, speaking Spanish. She loved the suit. It almost didn't touch him, and she loved the light blue shoes. Meanwhile, let's go back in time to somewhere else, somewhere along the trade routes in an obscure stop. The wolf composes himself. First, obligation number one, a letter to the last landlady who owns a charming studio with a view of downtown city. Question mark, privileges, utilities, transportation near, children not okay, good for thinking. So this is it, huh? He remembers that then, at that moment, which was final and inevitable after a generation of vain hope and the smell of icons burning, we conceded. We allowed ourselves. The heavens were on fire and there was enormous wind and noise. The two of them, larger than the moon, were locked in light. Boy, that was something. Everything was scarves. No one was naked in the summer dress, and each of us turned to someone, turned to face someone. If there are lessons, that was the lesson. Quote, Mrs. Romano, I have your note. My answer is a little late. I am a traveling man. You know the type, etc., etc. How is everything at home? Next year's another big one, and if I pass that, I'll live forever. Till then, there's just this machine, my books, my shirts and me. I eat standing up. I never cook. The smell of things heated is too much for me. The phone rings maybe once a day. Sometimes I don't feel like talking, sometimes I do. Women visitors are rare, so if my neighbor down below heard heavy walking, it must be something in the pipes. I never walk. The wolf knows what he's doing. Signed, the wolf, unquote. Sometimes a letter is like a song. I must remember that. Now, third obligation, number 3, the telephone, the future. I must call up Isolde. Who is Isolde? Well, for now, Isolde, she's the older and the kid that works at the bank. Then there's Buddy and the dogs, my life. Have I counted 4 things or 5? The singer learns to travel light. Isolde, I do declare my love. I'll settle down, Isolde. Isolde, I love you. I truly do. Let's retire after this one. We can live on what you make. Your income will be enough for both of us. And I will make you happy if I am home when you come home at night. And if I'm not, maybe it's worth the wait. Now I must call, quote, hello, Isolde, it's me. I love you, etc., unquote. Click. I loved you like an old-time melody. I loved you like a ... symphony. Music bringing back a memory becomes the time stops another treasury, I say. Oh my, what I say, what a shame, I say. What did I do, I say. Who's to blame, I say. I loved. Loved you, and then I called your name, and I say I would do it again. I loved you more than you could ever believe. I never would have thought there was so much love in me. Word carved in stone is everywhere stone crumbles. Word returns to air, I say. Oh my, I say, what a shame, I say. What did I do, I say. Who's to blame, I say. I loved. Loved you, and then I called your name, and I say I would do it again. Our love's supposed to burn eternally. Like a fire inside, it liked to burn a hole in me. Fire burns everything down to dust, consumes itself, captured, smothers us, I say. Oh my, I say, what a shame, I say. What did I do, I say. Who's to blame, I say. I loved. Loved you, and then I called your name, and I say I would do it again. I say I would do it again, I say. I would do it again, I say. She makes a double life. She makes 2 from 1 and 1. She makes a perfect system every day. She makes it work. She stands there in the doorway of her mother's house looking at the grass and sky and at where they meet, never once thinking thoughts like, "It's so like a line," or "The difference is so powerful," or "Which way shall I take to leave?" My mind turns to my breath, 1. My mind watches my breath, 2. My mind turns and watches my breath, 3. My mind turns and faces my breath, 4. My mind faces my breath, 5. My mind studies my breath, 6. My mind sees every aspect of the beauty of my breath, 7. My mind watches my breath soothing itself, 8. My mind sees every part of my breath, 9. My breath is not indifferent to itself, 10. She never thinks of possibility or of how probable it is that they have come together. Those thoughts never enter her mind, nor do thoughts of sports. She has no desire to improve her muscles. For her, piano playing is the only mystery. It's so beautiful, and how they do it, no one knows. She gets catalogs of every sort in the mail. Everything imaginable is pictured. She finds her way among the pictures without hesitation. Happiness is just around the corner. She is entirely without shame. The numbers are made of rubber or something like that. They stretch. They never lose their shape. They are ageless. They don't need repair. They need attention and respect. She thinks about two things that I know of. One is elevation, and that comes clothed in light, so to speak. She loathes the dark. She sleeps in light. She likes highness. 4,128 feet here, 4,218 feet there, and the body of the house itself. $14.28 here, $48.12 there. The other is proportions. Coincidence isn't a mystery to her. The margin is always wide enough. 42 or 40 with 20 is always 62 or 60. And I mean 42 with 20 can be 60 as well as 62, and the other way around. Just as 10 and 20 can be 32 or 30, or 12 and 20 can be 30. She stands there in the doorway of her mother's house and thinks these thoughts, that $14.28 is more attractive than $14 because of the 28. No one likes or dislikes zeros. And that 42 or 40 is fixed in some way. She thinks about her father's age. She does the calculations one more time. She remembers 62. 30 and some number is 62, and that number with 10 is 42. She remembers 42. Remembers is the wrong word. She dwells on 42. She turns and faces it. She watches. She studies it. It is the key. The mystery of the balances is there. The Masonic secret lies there. The church forbids its angels entry there. The gypsies camp there. Blood is exchanged there. Mothers weep there. It is night there. 30 and some number is 62, and that number with 10 is 42. That number translates now to then. That number is the answer in the way that numbers answer. That simple notion, a coincidence among coincidences, is all one needs to know. My mind turns to my breath. My mind watches my breath. My mind turns and watches my breath. My mind turns and faces my breath. My mind faces my breath. My mind studies my breath. My mind sees every aspect of the beauty of my breath. My mind watches my breath soothing itself. My mind sees every part of my breath. My breath is not indifferent to itself. She waked at 10. She remembers 10. She left the dark at 10. She waked in light. So 42 or 40 or 44 is fixed. $14.28 is more attractive than $14. It's just that way. The firmness of it is a consolation. Three men have loved her, one a decade on the average. Uncertainties are wrong. In this scene, there is one shot. Giordano Bruno comes to mind, whoever he is. She is in the doorway of her mother's house. She faces south. We see it two ways. First is the house behind her and the great northern constellations. She looks away from difference and discrepancy, magnetic north, true north, the North Star path. It's too like the calculations. Except that 10 and 42 are fixed together. We are looking west. She is on the right edge of the shot. She is Earth. We are the sun. People are gathered in the backyard. This is the celebration of the changing of the light. They do it as often as they can in summer. They come to talk. They pass the time. They soothe their thoughts with lemonade. They say things like, she never had a stitch that she could call her own, poor thing. And, Carl's still president over at the bank, ain't he? And, now if I was doing it, and she didn't cook much, never really had the time, you know? And I wouldn't say that, not at all. They are the planets in this scheme of things. Giordano Bruno's shot. The problem is the arc, the changing angle of the shot. It defies geometry. The drawings of a many-centered solar system, when we meet them in the books, make us avert our eyes. Heresy is heresy. We make one great weird curve from the east edge of the backyard looking west. She is on the right edge of the shot, across, following the equator of the backyard to the west edge looking east. Now she is on the left edge, and at some point midway we face, both looking at the center. The center is between us. Except that for the purpose of the shot, or in the interest of economy, she doesn't move. She is standing in the doorway of her mother's house, the doorway to the back porch. The backyard is the south. Behind her, the great northern constellation rises in the majesty of its architecture. Well, maybe that's a little too much. Let's just say that the contradictions are behind her, and in the backyard, God, this set of circumstances that is indescribable with our geometry. A picnic of sorts. A celebration of the changing of the light. And we glide through that chaos, facing her, watching her, studying her. Not circling her, remember, circling, but not circling her. She is circling. We are circling. Now she is on the left edge, caught still in her accounting of those 3 decades silently. She is so beautiful. A quote, pre-industrial, unquote, equation. God, this is sentimental. This is the hour of the mystery of the barn swallows. 1, where do they go in the daytime? 2, do they never rest? 3, when you buy them in the store made in China on the end of strings, they do exactly what they do alive. 4, how is that possible? The idea of the changing center is not in anything we make. Our toys run down. On the other hand, of course, the Chinese are said not to take pictures, at least not of the outside. 6 of 1, 2 times 3 of 1, 5 plus 1 of 1, 9 minus 3 of 1, half a dozen of another. It would be perfect if, as we made the great curve through the heavens of the backyard, providentially or accidentally, depending on your point of view, each of the planets would move exactly in the path and at the speed and with the purpose of the expression of the other idea. Maybe that's too much to wish. Giordano Bruno, I think they burned him. He was too positive. Fight fire with fire. In this shot, he is right about the larger order, whatever that means. There is the sun and earth and some center that they share, all other facts in this heaven. 1 has climbed a tree, 2 are eating watermelon, 1 always says, it's getting late. 1 succeeded at the plant, 1 works at the bank, the specialist. They are places hard to fix upon the memory. Sundown, 1, the time it disappears. Gloaming, 2, the twilight, dusk. Crepuscule, the twilight, 3, the half-light. Twilight, 4. Pale purplish blue to pale violet, lighter than dusk blue. Civil twilight, until the sun is up to 6 degrees below horizon. Enough light on clear days for ordinary occupations. Nautical twilight, until the sun is up to 12 degrees below horizon. Astronomical twilight, until the sun is 18 degrees down, more or less. Clair de lune, 5, greener and paler than dusk. Dusk, 6, redder and darker than clair de lune. Dear George, what's going on? I'm not the same person that I used to be.